Eastside Hyenas, the ABL sucks!
This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely pundit panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained? Gentlemen, welcome back. I know we had a little bit of a break, a little bit of vacation, but let's wipe off that rust. Let's get the sleepiness out of our eyes. Get rid of the Sandman. You know, we're all tan and happy and fit, but we got to cover some rugby. And John's not here again because he's a... You guys can disagree with me. That's okay. That's okay. He's nice to you guys, though. He's not nice to me.
There was so much peace for 4 weeks, and then, boom, you just start right off the bat.
Listen, this is what we're here to do. I'm talking my truth, Gift. I'm talking my truth. Okay, which then makes it true. And if it's on the internet, it's double true. Okay, let's speak our truths. All right, guys, that's what we're going to do from now on. Speak our truth. So other than our hellos, which I think we're basically through, let's get right to our first segment. What caught your eye? Gift, what caught your eye?
Look, you know, I've been very much against this beef that the U.S. and Canada have been having over tariffs, and really been siding with Canada. But Canada betrayed me because they absolutely just beat up our USA women's team that I don't appreciate, because that back five that we have was one of the best that I could ask for, with Cheta Emba, the homie, shout out Nigerian fam, and Ilona Mar, ESPN breakout star of the year, and Ella Kelter, and all the best of them. I like the other ones, just name drop for whatever's sake. But this one was a little bit demoralizing to kind of see what could be happening for the Women's Rugby World Cup. Yeah, it's more than 8 seconds. What, Matt?
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying 42-10. And in fact, folks, just so you know, he was wearing a Canada sweatshirt there, but he washed it with the whites in the hot water, and it came out chartreuse.
You see the lies that have been told to be able to make things. Again, peace was had, and then boom,
you're right. I am lying.
We lost.
I am lying. I thought it was chartreuse. It's fuchsia. And so are all your socks and your underwear now. Don't touch the washing machine.
all I learned.
Don't say it.
Send it out. Send it out.
See. All I learned is once you put on the red, it's supposed to mean stop. Don't continue on, but some people keep trying to push the edges and the boundaries.
That ain't red.
With the fake news.
That is not red. Okay, Mike, is that red?
It's somewhere between red and fuchsia.
All right, so
it's a classic burgundy.
Classic. So, Mike, what caught your eye other than Gift shirt?
Yeah, I mean, Canada are dark horses in this Rugby World Cup. They're people's outside chance to win this. You know, Sophie de Goede back. Big player for them in the forwards, and then obviously they got Flo Simmons in the back 13, who I think could be the standout 13 in this World Cup. Canada put USA to the sword, but USA have got a lot to get right to get out of that group. And they've got to play the Red Roses as well first up, which is not going to be nice. And they put 90-odd points on Spain. So, you know, let's respect Canada women's 15s team as much as we probably don't want to do that in the old North American derby. They are serious contenders for this Women's World Cup.
Well, we don't want to hear that. I'm going to ABC, always be Canada. Always be Canada. And ABE, anybody but England. Right? Those are the acronyms for
that ain't going to work out well for them this year.
No, it's not. Not on either account, is it? It's a disaster. But, Mike, we're going to get nailed if you don't say, give us a brief recap of the British and Irish Lions, which we will be covering in our next 3 segments, by the way.
I think they got it done. First 2 test matches. That second test was a right ding-dong. And the third one, I think, obviously, there was a little bit of a mental edge, whether they say it or not, left from the B&I Lions. But the Aussies came out with fighting for their lives and got the job done in ridiculous weather. The monsoon rain was unbelievable. And they even bought the old American lightning stoppage storm that tends to follow everything in USA sport. Suddenly they're doing it in Australia. But that was ridiculous as well. But
it is rare, right? I mean, it just seems like it's over here that we're doing it all the time. It's not happening over by you, right?
It's not, but it's interesting. Like, I think it's typical American legal law about everybody's trying to get sued.
Totally.
It's become a World Rugby standard. So World Rugby have adopted this across the globe, whereas before I've never been stopped in a lightning storm for a game ever.
All right. Okay. So what caught my eye, I'm going to bring us back to the MLR. Big couple of weeks in the MLR. We lost the NOLA Gold. And I got to tell you, I sat with the owner of the NOLA Gold at the match between England and Team USA on that great weekend.
That one hurts my heart. That hurts my heart.
Gift, they're now the NOLA Fold.
Yeah. It's that stadium, man. Look, that stadium took out 2 baseball teams, kind of cost us a hockey team in that same place. Like, Gold Field or whatever we're calling it now, Shrine Stadium is cursed.
Well, I got to tell you, it's a sad thing, but, down in D.C., the French owners were all talking about how all good things were to come, about expanding things and growing grassroots rugby in Louisiana specifically and making it a template for everybody else, and talking about, upgrading the production of the matches to get like 12 cameras. And I was stunned as everybody else, but also you had the California merger between the San Diego Legion and the Riflica, the team that would never had a nickname, Rugby Football Club Los Angeles. At least that salvaged rugby in Southern California. We need a team there. They're going to play around. They're going to play some matches in Orange County, LA, and San Diego, of course. And then there's Miami, who aren't in any longer. And the league named their CEO the Executive of the Year. I don't know how that works. How's that? What are the odds? What are the odds?
Hey, look, if the NBA can name Coach of the Year and then fire them literally 3 times in a row almost, hey, then the Executive of the Year can cost your whole team the next year.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's not dwell on it. Let's get to our Player of the Week, which is going to be Player of the Tournament, and we're explicitly talking about the British and Irish Lions Tour, and the nominees are Hugh Jones, Scottish center, hard runs, toughness, steady defense. He was the only center to start all 3 tests. Finn Russell, quarterback, the All-Stars. The sponsor on the front of the shirt named him Player of the Tour. Who are we to argue with that? Ellis Genge, arguably the best of the tight 5 players. His unbelievable fingertip catch right by the try line helped get the Lions their first try in the test series. And Dan Sheehan, he too, arguably the best of the tight 5 players with Genge. Hugo Keenan lost 12 pounds being sick on tour and was injured to begin with, but stepped up with that classic try in that classic finish in Game 2. And Mike, your man Tom Curry, an absolute mongrel, defensive menace, scored a huge try all over the pitch. Mike, who's your Player of the Tour / Player of the Week?
Oh, there was some big boys on this tour, but for me, it's going to be Dan Sheehan, the Irish hooker. I mean, he scored tries. His line-out throwing was unbelievable until the last half an hour of the 3rd test in the monsoon rain. I think statistically he was up around 98% on his line out, and his loose play was great. And he led from the front. He was Itoji's right-hand man in terms of when Itoji wasn't on the pitch. Dan Sheehan, I thought he's class. He's world class. He was world class, and he scored. He threw his line outs. He did the hard work. He did the carrying. For me, I thought he was the player of the tour.
Gift.
Look, man, I got to give it out to Ellis Genge. Aside from the fact that he's also low-key West African on one side of the family, but this dude has been developing over the last 6 years, one of the best leadership arcs for, right, we're seeing with the BNIs, but with England especially, and start to see him kind of get into his phase as he was kind of this young player. So him playing well against an Australia team that, shout out to them, recovering their program slow and steady. Him being able to show out in this BNI test match was legit. I got to give it up to the guy, Ellis Genge.
All right. You know what? Here we are in that awkward position where you guys have voted. You haven't voted together. I have a vote. I could either declare a winner or we have a 3-way tie. And guess what? We're going to have a 3-way tie because I'm picking Finn Russell. Not only because he quarterbacked those All-Stars only and was able to keep all those personalities firing with just one rugby ball, but because we'd like to get their sponsor that picked him as player of the tournament. With that, Finn Russell and my weighted pick makes him the player of the week / player of the tour.
Mike, you see what happened? Money always impacts politics. All right, it's never for the people. It's always for
nothing like being neutral.
Absolutely. Absolutely can be bought.
Give him a pound note and he's yours.
He's all yours.
I prefer a $5, Mike.
You're lucky he's not a pound coin.
But you guys still have your say. We have one more recurring segment, Gift's favorite segment.
Grown ass man.
The nominees are Bundy Aki, if only for that play in the 32nd minute of Game 3 when he took on Will Skelton, the monster, in tight, alone, and stopped him. Will Skelton, the Australian playing in France, the biggest guy on the pitch, that guy is a grown-ass man. Maro Itoje, the soft-spoken giant, was player of the match in Game 2 and had himself one hell of a series, and he's a big lad. Mike, who's your grown-ass man?
There's only one man, and that's Maro Itoje. I mean, he led from the front, 2 massive games. He would have finished the 3rd game and got dragged off with an HIA. Skelton played half the games. I mean, he played 40 minutes in Game 2, didn't bother playing Game 1, and give us 60, 70 minutes in Game 3. So he was decent. He made a difference to the Aussies. He is a big man, but Itoje, he was a grown-ass man from start to finish. So he is my grown-ass man.
Okay, all right. We are teetering on another major shift here, Gift.
Hey, man, look. What am I going to say? You think I'm going to go against my Nigerian brethren here? You think I'm going to go against my Nigerian brethren? This man got married last year. This man got captainship. This man got contract. And now he got the BNI. This is some grown-ass man-ish right there across the board. And he performed. Look, man, it's Morrow. He's a legend. He's the most disrespected legend in rugby right now. Give it to him all the credit in this.
Disrespected?
He is not given enough credit to how much of a legend he truly is. The most disrespected legend.
He's on the British and Irish Lions. He was named player of the match, and now I'm picking him too. So that means Maro Itoje
is this week's grown-ass man. Finally getting his credit.
Disrespected. Not on this program, he isn't. Maro, you out there? We'd love to have you on. On that note, let's take a break. We'll bring in George. You guys can cool your jets, and George can bash the Farrells. We'll be right back after this.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
Sir, what is your first name?
Ryan.
Ryan, what is your last name as per your jersey?
My balls itch.
Is that a Eastern Bloc name?
It's like my
Poland or
ancestry is like Polish, so I really wanted to honor them.
Yeah. And is it a different way that you say it in the Czech Republic?
Yeah, my balls itch.
I'm gonna just. And we are back with Mr. George Hook. George, you're on vacation of sorts, I understand.
Not of sorts. I am in the Irish equivalent of Florida, the sunny southeast, where the sun always shines except when it rains. But otherwise, I'm on vacation.
All right, well, George, we're back with our recurring segment,
Headlines with Hook.
And the headline, the Farrells. Did Andy tarnish the British and Irish Lions by picking Owen?
Well, only you would consider this important. The rest of the world, of course, doesn't give a hoot. I mean, hold a while here. He was in a difficult position. I honestly don't know, in watching this great game for 70 odd years, I've never seen a coach have a son either on the periphery or on the team. So therefore, he was always on a loser. Essentially, I think he picked the right guy. Farrell didn't play too many games. He didn't play any test matches. So it didn't really matter. but it was food and drink for the media. I don't think it was an issue. Farrell was always a contender to be on this tour. And the interesting thing, the first choice, Marcus Smith, either fullback or out half, was neither. So in fact, bringing out Farrell was important in the context of Smith being no good.
But he only got time at center. Couldn't you come up with somebody else that was a better choice at center?
You got to remember that he had the Scots inside centre and he had Bundyaki of Ireland at inside centre, neither of whom set the world on fire and neither of whom were technically qualified to be members of the British and Irish Lions. I happen to be a conservative. I'm not sure about the British and Irish and New Zealand and Australian and West Indian and Saudi Arabia Lions. You know, the Lions is purely now a commercial enterprise. And I'm with William and John McBride, Matt Dawson, great Lions of the past, who are really questioning what this is. Every game except the test matches was a waste of time.
But let me ask you this.
Yes.
Could it be that they just don't have the talent pool to make both equally good? Because the test matches were very good. And if those players had been playing in those other matches, what would we have?
No, hold on. You're just a kid in rugby. Right?
Thank you.
You're still in diapers.
Yes.
In rugby terms, right?
Got nothing to do with youth.
But commerce, filthy commerce, has demanded this joke tour. It's a joke. Were Australia good? Absolutely. Should have won the second test. Should have won the third test. Again, the media created this wonderful thing. These are the greatest Lions of all time. My eye. They are not remotely the great Lions of all time. And then they have a bunch of guys on this tour who wouldn't get on your local Miami Rangers. And they bring them out as sort of extras. No, just no. This is not the game I love, the tour I love, and Ireland don't deserve. Well, maybe they do.
All right, I want to go back.
Lions, we don't want 9 Irishmen on it, particularly when 6 of them aren't Irish.
Your point is made, and I agree with it about the international expansion, if you will, of the British and Irish Lions. But I want to get back to this Farrell thing. So you don't think Andy Farrell has tarnished his Lions legacy by bringing in Owen, who really didn't do anything?
No, of course he didn't. I mean, he brought other players in. They just didn't happen to be his son. His son is irrelevant. What is relevant is, can this guy, who happens to be his son, kick, catch, run, tackle? And he certainly can. He is one of the outstanding midfield backs in Britain and Ireland. Of course he was entitled to be there. He's better than, in fact, he is better than the 2 inside centres originally selected. But I think Farrell was under pressure, understandable pressure, of favouritism towards his kid. So if he picked him in the first instance, the press would have had a field day.
All right. I never thought I would see this day when you were on the side of Owen Farrell. That's how fickle rugby can be. Amazing.
You have no idea what a nice guy I am.
Yes, I do, because you come on this show. I do. I know that for sure. On that note, that's this week's
Headlines with Hook.
Thank you, George.
God bless you and take care.
You do the same. We'll be right back with Mike Friday and Gift Egbelu after this. You need your cleats? You need them tomorrow? If you order today by 3 p.m. New York time or noon LA time, they can have them to you tomorrow. Young, old, male, female, if you're playing on turf, if you're playing on grass, if you're playing in the rain, you're playing in the heat, they've got you covered. RugbyNow.com. Go there now. From New York City comes America's longest running and most popular rugby show. The biggest names in Major League Rugby, MLR highlights, and big match previews. Rugby Wrap-Up presents MLR Weekly, made in New York City.
What do I like to do after I get done playing an old boys game with Connecticut Gray? I like to get myself an Irish Rugby Tours pen. That's what I like to do.
And we're back. And guys, we're not picking any matches other than our picks of the week, which will be from the NPC down in New Zealand. But we do have some early odds on favorites in the professional setups. Let's look at the URC. We've got Leinster minus 175, Bulls plus 450, Sharks plus 800, Munster plus 800, and Stormers plus 1,400. No respect for Glasgow. 3 teams from South Africa in that top 5. And the other 2 teams, the Irish teams. Mike, what do you make of this?
Well, I think obviously Leinster, if depending on what team they put out, it's probably fair. They should win it. But I'm with you. I would put my money on Glasgow. I think Glasgow make the semis, and then they're one game away, aren't they? So I'd be asking what odds you're going to give me for Glasgow.
Nice. Gift.
I'm looking at these Sharks, man. Look, last year, I actually truly hated them because they just disappointed so consistently when it mattered. But I don't think they're going to have the same level of injuries that they had this year or last year or however the F you want to call it.
Some year.
But
any year.
In the year, yeah. But I think the Sharks team, they're loaded. They're going to have their full team. It's not a Rugby World Cup year. It's not a Rugby World Cup prep year because I like the Bulls more. But the Sharks, I feel like they should be the odds-on favorite to take this one.
Yeah, Gift, I was disappointed by the Bulls too, and that seems like a lot to be getting back for them if they're supposed to be good. And 800, you gotta lay 800 to win, or you gotta lay 100, you get 800 for. I don't think the Sharks are that bad. That's not that big of a chance. But I'm gonna go with the Bulls. How about them apples? All right, let's look at the Premiership, Mike. And this is to win outright. Bath plus 135, Saracens plus 275 with the return of Owen Farrell, Leicester plus 550, Northampton plus 550, and then Sale plus 1,000.
I think they've got this right. Bath have strengthened again. I don't know how they're doing it, if I'm honest with you, but they strengthened again. They got Carreras coming in. They got Henry Arundel coming in, so they're just bringing more firepower into their back line because their pack. A side pack and their B side pack are decent. So I think Bath are definitely the team to beat by some way. I think a gambler's chance would be Sale Sharks.
Yeah.
They've lost the 2 Pree brothers, but they've still got George Ford. They've got a tasty back line, and they've got a robust pack, and they'll be decent and they'll have consistency. So Bath are the favourites by some way, but I think if you're looking for a gambler's chance, I'd be looking at Sale Sharks at plus 1,000.
Can Arundel get back on the English team, or is he?
Definitely, yeah. Now he's back.
They'll
in the
forgive
country.
him.
Yeah, if he's good, if he's playing well, they'll forgive him. Definitely.
Okay. All right, Gift.
Yeah, look. Wait, Mike, real quick. Who did Northampton lose? That's taking them from being the favorites. I know last year, obviously, they didn't make it very far, but they still were a fairly loaded team, right?
No, they had a lot of injuries, but the problem is they haven't got a big squad. So they had to make a decision, and they went all out for the European and lost in the semis.
Right.
Lost in the final, I can't remember. Lost in the final, didn't they?
Yeah.
But they were pretty poor on the domestic front, even though the domestic front was so tight. Because they didn't have the strength of squad. They've got some more young guys coming through, so they'll play attractive rugby, but I'm just not sure they got the durability and the depth.
Okay, and it's also a young team, right?
They are young, they're exciting, but have they got the depth to compete on 2 fronts? Bath have.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, look, I'm looking at the Saracens, man. One final bit. They're trying to bring back the old squad, clearly. I think that they have probably the best chance.
All right. The return of Owen Farrell to Saracens. It's intriguing. And I feel like I'm going to get sucked in. But Mike, you said off camera, he's not going to play much fly half.
I think he'll play a lot more 12, but you're right. With Farrell in the team, Saracens become even harder to beat.
Because he's got that fire in the clubhouse. He's got that respect, right?
On the training pitch, I mean, he will demand everything out of everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Saracens. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll briefly touch upon the top 14 and come back with our picks of the week from the NPC after this.
Sir, what is your name?
Bronco.
Bronco, you're wearing a green USA Rugby T-shirt. What the F?
It's called throwing a monkey wrench into the works. Nobody expects USA to be wearing green.
Hey, U.S. fans, you can tune into every match live on Flow Rugby. How do we know that? Because we're on there all the time. And we are back. Gentlemen, let's look at the top 14. Mike, this is one of your favorite professional setups on the planet. Toulouse, plus 120. Bordeaux, plus 160. La Rochelle, plus 600. Toulon, plus 1,100. Racing 92, plus 1,600. Now that Owen Farrell has returned back to Saracens. Who do you like, Mike?
Toulouse. DuPont's back, Ramos is back, Marchand's back. They're all back.
They're going to be...
Toulouse. I mean, Bordeaux will push them, but if Toulouse, they stay healthy, revenge mission coming.
Copy that. Gift.
Yeah, man, looking at this, shout out Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Probably looking at Toulouse to be able to do this one because, as Mike said, you're getting the mod squad back, man. Like, this is a super team. Countdown until they last, how long they last, but super team.
Countdown is a key word here because we're counting down to the final moments of this show, and I am going to make this unanimous, both at the same time. Sorry, I slipped into my French again.
This North New York Buffalo gibberish. Can't even talk.
Il est mon français, mon frère.
It's New York Quebecan.
That's right. New York Quebecan. I like that, Mike. All right, let's go to John's favorite point of the show. Picks of the week. Johnny, who do you like, Mike?
I am going to go for North Harbour, and they will beat Taranaki, not lose. They will beat Taranaki. Jed Melvin, Tom Barr, and my boys are back.
Jed Melvin, of course, from the New England Free Jacks fame. Three championships up there that they have right now. Gift?
Chocolate Easter Bunner, Canterbury, 6.5 against Auckland. Man, let it flow. Let it flow.
Wow, you have no shame. You're going to look yourself in the mirror after all you've done is bash Canterbury for all 5 seasons on this program, and now you're picking them. All right, well, you're following the money.
Like Barack Obama said, it's time for a change.
All right, and you're following the money on a money show. That's good. I'm going to take Manawatu, getting 21.5 from Tasman. Get out of here, Tasman. No way. And on that note, guys, we are out of time. I want to thank John Bradshaw, Layfield, WWE Hall of Fame, return rugby advocate for not being here today. King Gift Egbelu in his chartreuse/fuchsia shirt. 3-time Olympic sevens coach Mike Friday in his burgundy. And George Hook, the Irish rugby legend, pretty in pink. And thank you. Check out MLR Weekly. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Sign up for our weekly newsletter. And please join our American Red Cross blood donor team.